الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. ما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
All right, so Alhamdulillah, this is the marriage workshop, our third annual marriage workshop. 3 years ago, on the date, we were thinking about various programs we could have. I forgot actually the initial story. I think it was very impromptu, um, since it was February and we all know Valentine's Day. Imam Saab asked me to put some stuff together. So a lot of people received it very well. And then we did a different one the year after, more couples related, those who are already married. And so we wanted to continue that. So this is our third one. And what we're going to be focusing a little bit more on this year, with additionally the things that we covered in the first year, is a little bit more for those who aren't married. So I know many people join this program who are yet to get married, they're not married, and they want to learn more about it before going in, which is a really great thing. So we are actually going to be talking about a few things here that is going to benefit those who aren't married as well as those who are. So we're anybody in whatever your situation is. Also, if you don't want to get married, a third category, not married and you don't want to get married, you can also learn something about Islam, at least appreciate the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us. So here are the topics we're going to be talking about. And primarily what we're going to be covering tonight is this number one, the wisdom of marriage. So we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the universe, created all of us, and he has sent down Islam as a perfect way of life with our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does is wise. Now it's our job. He doesn't spell things out for us all the time. Lucky for us, regarding nikah and marriage, he did kind of spell it out. But still, we have to do some searching and look for the wisdoms that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed in this. Once we realize his wisdom in creating the system, we can appreciate it more, and that will hopefully give us some motivation to pursue it. I don't think anyone is trying to be amongst the uzzab. Uzzab are those who don't get married. There's actually an interesting book. It's called Al-Ulama Ul-Uzzab. Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda was a Syrian scholar, passed away in the 90s. He wrote this book and he collected all scholars who never got married due to their love and passion of learning. So amongst them, Imam Nawawi, Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, and others. He collected it all in one book. But I don't think anyone is azib here. I think everyone wants to get married if they're not. So that's the first thing we'll talk about. The second thing is, and we'll cover this tonight as well, at least that's part of the plan, commitment and self-development. This is a new section that I've added in this year that we haven't talked about before. And it deals with the fact that marriage is something that you work at. It's not something that is just like, paradise. It's not Jannah. It can be if you work on it. And part of that is self-development. And of course, this is geared towards those who aren't married, but also those of us who are married, it will definitely help us, inshallah. Number three, the Islamic marriage. So here we'll discuss rights of spouses, etiquettes that we should have, and the difference between a right and an etiquette, and how, inshallah, the Islamic household dynamic works, what is expected of us, what did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do, all of those different things we'll talk about. So we get some idea of what is the image of marriage, of nikah in Islam, not the actual nikah. In Islam, the nikah itself is very simple. It can be done in a minute. We don't place emphasis on the celebration. That can take place in a minute. You feed 5 people, you got the walima done. That's it. You don't even have to feed 5. You can feed 1 person. You get the walima done, and you get married. And so the whole thing can be done in less than an hour, maybe like 30 minutes if you really want to rush it. So Islam doesn't place emphasis on the celebration or the actual ritual, but it places a heavy amount of emphasis on the work thereafter, the rest of your life. And finally, of course, it wouldn't be an Islamic program if we didn't talk about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. the prophetic model. So we'll actually look into what things Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, how he was with his wives, what the Sahaba said about him, all these various things, inshallah. So there's a lot to cover, and I hope that I can cover everything. Sometimes I will be, rushing through a few things, but I will be pausing for others, inshallah, and then hopefully we'll have some